What's up, everybody? It's me, Grace, also known as Zombie on the interwebs. We're here to make cosplay today. Well, cool, we're gonna be making some patterns today for Star-Lord's Yeah Baby shirt. But you can see that I have this shirt all laid out here. This is one of my favorite shirts that I wear all the time, and I love how it fits. So, I'm gonna be using it to make myself some patterns for my Star-Lord shirt. Alright, let's pull up some references here. I'm just gonna be using some references from the movie, because those are the best references for the Yeah Baby shirt. The hot toys that a lot of people like to use for the references and what I've been using for the references, they're really great, but I definitely want those in-movie scenes. I need them. And luckily I have some really good references of the seams on his shirt. Apparently the alien lettering on the shirt actually says gears shift, but just at a glance, it totally looks like Yeah Baby, at least to me. A lot of people have said the same thing, so I'm not the only one, which is good. I'm not crazy. Everyone else is crazy with me. Alright, so I have... What is squished on my roll of tape? I never know. Maybe it's a bug? I don't know. It's all good times here. It's summer, there's bugs everywhere. That's just what we're dealing with today. Alright, so I have some masking tape here. You know, sometimes I would lay some tinfoil down on this first and then start laying out some masking tape. But I actually think today that I'm gonna just do masking tape straight onto my shirt here, just because I want to get these seams really precise. So I'm just going to start by putting this masking tape just right on the clothes. And you can also see that this is actually inside out, so I can see where all the seams come together. I can see where the shoulders are supposed to be. I can see where the collar is supposed to be. The collar is going to be a little bit different for the final shirt, but it's the exact length that I want it. It's perfect length to tuck in the shirt into the pants I'm gonna make. I'm just gonna get right to it. We're just gonna get right to pattern making. This is the back of the shirt, and this is just a shirt from Target. I'm gonna use this tape and kind of, split it at approximately the middle right here. I'm just gonna lay that tape right down on top of that. This is kind of the fun part. I don't know why this is so fun, covering something with tape, but it totally is. We gotta kind of get creative. Let's see, I'm going to kind of scooch this over just a little bit. Continue right down the sleeve here. Sleeve taping time, tape on the sleeve, do-do-do. My album's coming out never. Are we gonna paint? I think I am actually going to that logo in Photoshop. I can print it out on some transfer paper, and hopefully I can just iron it on to the shirt, and it'll look really cool. I've done some iron-on designs before, but never one that's quite that complex. I'm kind of lucky that it looks a little bit worn, like a t-shirt design would after you've worn the shirt a few times. So, I don't know, maybe that will work to my advantage. We'll see. But if that is something that you guys would like to see, let me know, because I would love to show that to you guys if you're interested. So at this point, my shapes are starting to get weird, so I'm tearing apart my tape and kind of adjusting it onto these parts that I need right here. And I may even go over, after I have taped these onto my tinfoil, or I don't know, I might use wax paper too. I haven't decided yet. I have my tinfoil over here, but I have wax paper as well. I can see that the collar starts here, and it's kind of it's definitely not like a V, like a deep V-neck, but it has a little bit of a point near the collar area. I'm definitely going to draw this little line around to the shoulder back here. The next easy-ish seam is going to be this little line, so I can see that there's a seam almost touching the collar area right here, but there is another seam about, it's still the top of the chest, but it's right here. I'm just gonna draw that line kind of across like this. So I'm liking that seam. This seam that is also going under the armpit area curves kind of at the same, same area as that first one. And then this one goes like almost right up near this shoulder area and straight under the armpit. And I'm just gonna use this seam that was already here on my original shirt kind of as a guide to where I want that seam to be. So we have our two front panels of our shirt all traced out here. So now we have this weird arm seam. There is this interesting oval arm seam here, and it just comes right down, straight down the middle, and it goes all the way to the cuff. And there's that weird arm seam. Yeehaw. When I transfer this onto paper, I know that all I have to do is flip this over. I can pretty much trace everything twice because the shirt has a front and a back, of course, and that will be my little sleeve seam. So just so I don't get too confused, because this happens all the time, I'll be like, great, I have a pattern, and it'll be just like this, and I'll cut it out and I'll be like, hold on, what piece went where? I don't remember. So to alleviate that issue, I'm gonna go ahead and label everything, just so that doesn't happen to me, because that happens to me all the time and I forget to do that. I don't know if that happens to you guys. It's a bad habit. I just want to cut corners and it bites me in the butt later. Just making some registration marks right here, kind of where all these weird curves are. So I'm gonna label this as a front panel, and I will label this as middle panel. And sometimes I'll write words like across my patterns that meet up in the middle. Like shoulder, armpit. And this looks like chaos to some, but this is what works for me. All right, so this is freaking ready to go. This is ready to go on some pattern paper. Actually, instead of aluminum foil, I might actually do wax paper. I've never used wax paper before. I'll see how it works out. I'm gonna go get a roll of it real quick. Now is the interesting part. So I'm gonna start peeling this up really carefully. See if I can see where I trace my lines through on this. Oh, I totally can. Okay, so that helps. I can just kind of peel this up carefully, and then I can see. So tense. I can see my line right here where I have marked my seam, and I'm actually just going to use my scissors and hold them the right way. And I'm going to cut my seam right here. Okay, so there is our front panel. That's our biggest panel that we have. So I'll put this aside for now. Now we can use this wax paper to press our pattern down. I'm going to start at the bottom here. Kind of use my hand to smooth it out as I go. And guys, it is okay if it crinkles. It is not the end of the world. Everything's going to be okay. I promise. This tape is pretty forgiving, so you can kind of reposition it as you go. But as you saw earlier, if it sticks together, especially if this big of a piece sticks together, then that might put you in some trouble. But yeah, there it is. There is our little start of our pattern piece there. I'm gonna give this about approximately a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Just gonna trace out a line around this pattern right here, all the way around. The wax paper isn't taking on my marker, but I can still see it. Cool. All right, I'm just gonna go after it right away. I'm just cutting this right off the roll. All right, so following up all my little scrap pieces over here, gonna put that over there. And there you have it, guys. Like, look at that. It is a pattern piece. Have my seam allowance right here. I can always add it or take it away if I need to. But that is the beginning of my little pattern. I'm just gonna put this aside for now, and we're gonna do the rest of the shirt. Oh yeah! Dude, sewing is intimidating. Like, It is, but you know, once you know all the basics, the other stuff comes a lot easier, at least in my experience. And you'll still mess up a lot. I still mess up all the time. But, you know, sewing is really like such a skill. I have such an admiration for anyone who is really good at it. Because it's hard. It really is. I think it's more technical than armor making. I think a lot more thinking's involved. So there is our middle panel all cut out. I'm gonna transfer it now. Move this out of the way gently. So there's that pattern all stuck on. And you know what I done goofed on? This should have a seam allowance. So, oh my gosh, I am so lucky. Did you see that? That came off like butter. That was amazing. Thank you, wax paper. You can reposition it if you goof up like I just did. And it's not the biggest deal in the world. So that's a relief. All right, so here we go again. Drawing our seam allowance around our patterns. Ooh, this wax paper cut's nice. Okay, so we have our weirdest piece all cut out here. I'm just gonna use this scrap piece for this last little shoulder piece. Actually, I have an idea for this. I have an idea. It's gonna require some more wax paper, but that's okay. What is this stuff? I think I got this for like $1 at H-E-B. Texas Tough wax paper. And I think we got it exclusively to make s'mores. I'm gonna set this down, smooth down all my little edges. Got some little crinkly bits right there. See if I can smooth them out a little. And this tape plus this wax paper, super forgiving. I'm gonna fold this in half just like I do with my regular patterns. We have this space, weird space in the middle right here. And I am going to actually just cut right up along here and then tape it together. All right, so now we have our weird little shoulder panel pattern right here. We have our front panel that just needs to be folded kind of in half when you're tracing it. We have our middle panel, the arm/shoulder panel. So we did it. We patterned a bunch of stuff today. I think we got a lot done. I'm pretty satisfied with all the patterning that we did. Thank you guys so much. Bye, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.